All in Sports Network. We love sports.
All right, so here is the case for Jonathan Taylor for MVP. The first time that this has happened for a running back since, I believe, the Adrian Peterson days. He is the most consistent force in the entire NFL. He has had one off game this entire season, and what typically is a quarterback award. There is no quarterback that is having the level of consistency or meaning to his team that Jonathan Taylor is having, aside from maybe Matthew Stafford. Josh Allen has had ups and downs and should not be in the running. And I still firmly believe that Patrick Mahomes could not be the Patrick Mahomes that everybody believes that he is without Andy Reid, and obviously without any good quality receivers as we saw early in the season. So it's Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor for MVP. This should be a tidal wave of a movement. I'm Kevin. Liam's gone. He is in his last push for the semester in college, so he's taking some time to focus on that. I think he made me a little under the weather digitally, so I'm not sure how that all worked out, but I'm going to do my best without him here. We are the Unstable Blues. Happy to present All Indiana Sports as part of the All In Sports and Rogue Media Sports Networks. Welcome back in. Jesse Owens still has more gold medals won in Berlin's Olympic Stadium than Jonathan Taylor had touchdowns, but it took Owens a week to get all four, and it only took JT a few hours to get yet another hat trick on the season. I will tell you more about what that means as we go all in. You can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at All Indiana Sports, and on Twitter at All Indy Sports. And don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. All right. Time for the narrative of the game. What a game. Unbelievable. This makes two Indiana teams with amazing fourth quarters and overtime and or overtimes. We'll tell you about the other one tomorrow. This one, the Colts elected to receive the opening kickoff. Yet again, seems like their new MO. They're kicking it back old school. Unfortunately, that resulted in the first of two turnovers on downs in the game. 4 plays later, Cam Bynum forced a Michael Penix fumble, and Jonathan Taylor scored 2 plays later after that. The first being a 22, the first of those 2 plays being a 22-yard Ashton Dulin jet sweep. The Falcons answered with their own quick touchdown before the Colts scored yet another 2-play drive with a 28-yard JT run, setting up a 37-yard Alec Pierce touchdown grab into double coverage. A Falcons punt. Michael Badgley missed 53-yard field goal. Another Falcons punt, and the Colts punt led to a Falcons touchdown. Daniel Jones threw an interception in an end-of-half hurry-up kind of situation and led to the halftime score, 14-13, as Badgley also missed the first extra point of the game. The Falcons started the second half with a field goal and then forced the other Daniel Jones fumble. Fortunately, that result only resulted in a Falcons 3-and-out, and the Colts put together a 14-play, 80-yard, almost 9-minute drive and the second turnover on downs. The Colts defense forced another punt that led to a Badgley redemption field goal on a largely Jonathan Taylor drive. Another Falcons punt resulted in yet another 2-play drive capped off by an 83-yard Taylor touchdown scamper where he emerged from a crowd and bounced it to the outside and all the way down the sideline. A failed 2-point conversion led to the 22-17 score in favor of the Colts with 6:02 left in regulation. Yes, I said in regulation, so you know what's probably coming here, even if you didn't watch the game. The Falcons put together an almost flawless touchdown drive and 2-point conversion to put them up 25-22 with a minute 44 left in regulation, and the Colts with only one timeout. Amir Abdullah returned the ensuing kickoff 49 yards, helping the Colts muster a game-tying Badgley field goal to send it to overtime. After a mishap with the coin toss, the Falcons took the ball first and only managed 18 yards on 5 plays. After the Colts got the ball, a beautiful Tyler Warren 23-yard grab led to Taylor and the Colts offensive line taking over the game and the walk-off touchdown run from JT to put it to bed. Speaking of which, Joi Baby Sleep Sacks can help you put your little one to bed. Click the link in the description for more on that. All right. It's time to take a look at the stat sheet. Okay. We know that this doesn't define the game, but it certainly gives you good context. Okay. Daniel Jones went 19 for 26 for 255 yards, a touchdown, interception, and a fumble, and one big old bloody mouth. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just look it up. Daniel Jones, bloody mouth. He just got his Halloween costume a little too late. Jonathan Taylor, 244 yards on 32 carries, 3 touchdowns, and also added 3 catches for an additional 42 yards for 286 total scrimmage yards. And he is now the all-time franchise leader in rushing touchdowns, more than Eric Dickerson, more than Marshall Faulk, and more than Edgerrin James, even though Edgerrin still has the rushing yardage for that. Lots of different things to come out of this game. JT is now only one game back of having 3 touchdowns, tying LaDainian Tomlinson's record with 6 games of 3 touchdowns in one season. There's a few other superlatives out there. He's joined now into Hall of Fame caliber for his career at this point. So I don't know what else we need to see from him other than continue doing what he's doing, which is just keep getting better every single year. Only comes with proper, well, I should say this. He, didn't have a great game against the Steelers. This was a great comeback rebound game. Speaking of which, Open Goal has a great rebounder and goal setup for you. Click the link in the description for more on that. Tyler Warren now also has another franchise record, the all-time leader in tight ends yardage for the Colts. Tyler had 99 yards on 8 catches, and Alec Pierce had 4 catches for 84 yards and the touchdown. Zaire Franklin is back on top in tackles for the team with 10, 1 sack, 2 TFLs. He was a terror except for the one high tackle that he missed on Bijan early in the game. Nick Cross and Jermaine Pratt each had 7 tackles for the game. Cross also had a sack, and Cam Bynum had the 3rd sack. That was the strip sack early in the game there. All right, time for the intangibles here. Obviously, the elephant in the room is the MVP that I already told you about. Should be the MVP, Jonathan Taylor. The O-line against the pass rush is still a problem, and so that needs to be fixed. That was a problem against the Steelers. It was also a problem against the Falcons, and I wouldn't say that these are even the 2 best teams that they've played against the pass or their defensive line. I believe those, at least on paper, would be the Dolphins and the Broncos. But they beat both of them, and then we've seen what happened since then. All right, so that's going to come. That's going to be something that they're going to want to work on in the bye week, headed into probably the toughest stretch of their schedule, as if it wasn't tough these first 2 games before the bye. Now it really ramps up. So off season or the off week, the bye, these things to work on. You got to train properly. Speaking of which, training your puppies with Farm Hounds Healthy Treats is what we love to do at Country Mountain Dogs. Click the link in the description for more on that. Special teams played a huge role on kickoffs on both sides of the ball for the Colts here. And then Jonathan Taylor's just ability to take over a game is huge. They did what Liam said that they should have done against the Steelers and didn't, and that's keep running the ball. Even in the midst of when maybe they need to push it a little bit more, Jonathan Taylor has the ability to push it even on the ground. Look at how they won the game in overtime. It was with Jonathan Taylor on the ground. They pushed people around, the offensive line did, and Jonathan Taylor made cuts, was patient. All they needed was to score a field goal. But if you have Jonathan Taylor, you can walk it into the end zone and end it that way. The defense had juice we hadn't seen since maybe the first few weeks. And I think some of that came from Sauce Gardner, who's maybe getting a little unfair treatment for the 1 2-point conversion he fell on. He also fell on one other catch, but when he was matched up against Drake London, he held him to 2 catches and 26 yards. Atlanta had to move Drake London around to get him open and not against Sauce in order to get him the ball. Speaking of that, passing game, they held Michael Penix Jr. to 42% and 0 for 8 on third down. The defense for Lou Anarumo may not have been totally flawless. Drake still had over 100 yards in passing. They struggled in some areas, but on the areas that really mattered, they came up big and when it needed to be done as well. All right, that leads to the Mayflower move. I have something a little bit different because I knew Liam would have this one. I'm going to imagine that it's probably the 83-yard Jonathan Taylor run that he literally, I thought the play was over. He gained a yard, he was enveloped, and all of a sudden, whoop, he sneaks out the side, and he is gone down the sideline, and accompanied by Tyler Warren and Alec Pierce still blocking all the way down the field for him and ushering him into the end zone. What a quintessential team effort that we have said all season defines Indiana sports right now. The unselfish, for each other kind of play. My Mayflower move, that was Liam's, I'm sure. Mine is the Tyler Warren grab on 4th and 2 after the Daniel Jones 19-yard run that ended him with the bloody mouth on third down, or in the third, no way, on the third down. Yeah, no, Daniel Jones ran on the third down, my bad. It was the final Colts drive of regulation that helped set up the game-tying Michael Badgley field goal to send it into overtime. All right. Now it's time for our star of the game presented by Underdog Fantasy Sports. If you haven't been paying attention, especially to Liam's picks, you should probably do that because he's been doing fairly well at advising you of what's going to happen, especially with Jonathan Taylor. And so, listen to him. Listen to me with Tyler Warren, but, here's something from Underdog and how this stuff works. Football's back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code COLTS. To score $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5, that's promo code COLTS. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 18 and up, 19 and up in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 and up, and in Colorado for some games, 21 and up in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and must be present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369. Okay, I'm going to give you Liam's pick because I guarantee you this is how he would say it. I'm going to say, hey, who was your star of the game? And he would go, Who else would it be? Who else could it be? It's Jonathan Taylor. He set the franchise record in rushing touchdowns. He had a fifth game with 3 touchdowns this season. And he is now only one game back of LaDainian Tomlinson with 7 games to go in that category of 3 touchdowns in a single game in a single season. Who else can it be? He almost had 300 yards by himself out of the 500 and something total yards of offense. Who else could it be? And I'm going to tell you that it could be somebody else. And this played a maybe sneaky role in here. And I'm going to give it to a coach because I love coaching. And that is Indiana resident, born and bred, Brian Mason, the special teams coordinator. What a job on all of the coverages. I told you a little sneaky pick for me would be Agnew. Dangerous. They held the Falcons inside the 20 on kickoffs, I think all but one. And the Colts, in turn, had 3 big run backs. Is that right? Maybe 2 from Amir Abdullah and also another one. No, they had one from Downs at one point that almost broke, and they had one from Doolin that almost broke. So 3 different returners with 3 different great run backs. Now, did they go to the house? No. But did they set up good field position for the offense to work? Absolutely. It makes a huge difference. Special teams, never underestimate it. I know Liam would love that one as well, being a former kicker as well. Of course, a former running back. So welcome to small town Texas football. So that is my star of the game, is a coach. You're welcome. But that's all the time that we have for today. We'll be back, or I'll be back tomorrow with the Crimson Cutback look at IU's late, amazing comeback against Penn State football. Later this week, we will have our Unstable Pick 6 NFL prediction episode. Liam definitely will be in on that one. And then we will have our Keep the Pace weekly look at Pacers basketball, however sad that might be right now. And then we will finish off with a brand new Candy Stripe Clear Out episode as the Colts are on a bye and IU basketball has now started. So I'm Kevin, and without Liam, and reminding you to stay all Indiana.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.